What's going on, everybody? It's CutsbyCoast here, bringing you another video. Today I'm going to show you guys how to shape an afro. And when I say that, I don't mean the whole microphone, like not even like what I got. I mean like straight up and off, like a box, like what you guys typically get asked for, you know, the basic, everybody asks for a box or a flat top. This is exactly how you're going to do it. So without further ado, let's get into the video. What's going on, everybody? It's CutsbyCoast here, bringing you another video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to shape a fro. And when I say shaping a fro, I don't mean the microphone shape, I mean more like the box shape that you guys typically get asked for. So I'm going to start off by, we already had our consultation. He wanted to take about half of his hair off, so I picked his hair all the way out and then started with a set guideline, and now I'm just going to make sure that I'm staying consistent throughout. Whenever you're doing this, you want to try to have the steadiest hand as possible. If you need to, grab your other hand and hold your wrist and give yourself a safe little pivot to work with. I don't know if you guys can tell, but right here I'm using my middle finger to brace against his face, and that is my brace for doing the side, because if we have something to hold on to, we'll make sure that we don't commit any errors. And you know, it's already tough to shape up a fro as is, so when you give yourself something to lean on, you'll be all right. You can tell right here it's kind of starting to come together. Every time I shape up somebody's fro, I give it a rough draft, and then I take my pick and I go ahead and pick the hair all the way back out again, and we'll go back in and do the same exact thing. So here we are picking it out again. You can tell he's not getting irritated at all. Once you get to that first layer of hair, if it's not completely picked out, because you know sometimes people's hair is just so knotted up that you don't want to yank on them, go ahead and get the rough draft in and then pick it all the way out again. As you can tell, it's not too far off from the shape we want to go with, but it's still not where we need to be. So let's go ahead and go right back in. Alright guys, and I'm gonna call this one rough draft part 2. So now we are finishing up on this, and we're gonna go ahead and go in with our next guard, which is predominantly gonna be the side of his head, and that guard is gonna be a 2 guard. So this still isn't the finished shape up. We have set it up for what we would be satisfied with if he left with the sides that he's at right now, which is unrealistic. How many people are just gonna shape it up and send him out the door? So this is a rough draft part 2. Next, we will take our 2 guard up into what we have. We just want to leave the top. We don't want to leave anything on the sides. And then I'll show you guys how we transition from there. I wanted to bring you guys this whole tutorial, but I just had to sit back and tell myself the focus of this video is how to shape a fro. I want to teach you guys how to shape a fro because that is one of the most uncomfortable aspects of cutting hair, especially if you predominantly cut straight hair. This is one of those things that you really need to watch so that you can step up your barber game. If you guys are interested in the full tutorial, leave me some comments below saying Yes, I do want to see the full tutorial, or no, I appreciate this video and what you brought for us today. Alright guys, this is going to be the finished draft of the shape up. Now you see that the sides are cleaned up. It's easy for me to tell what's going to hang over. And with that being said, we are shaping this up, and he is going to twist it with a sponge on top. You know, that's the typical shape for today's game. You want to shape it up and then twist a sponge. A lot of people don't shape it up, but his hair was getting out of control. So now that we have our shape up, he can now go in with the sponge, and none of these hairs are going to be hanging over. It's going to give a perfect shape to fit his head. And just to be honest, it's going to make your life easier the next time that you cut this client, because it's already set up for that shape. Alright, so now this is our perfect shape that we wanted to achieve today. Now we're going to go ahead and start brushing his hair down, get ready to put some hairspray on there and go in with the lineup. I got a little bit ahead of myself. We are now taking the one guard open and we are just smoothing out the sides. We want to make sure that this hair is ready for the lineup. You know, you can't just go straight in. There's always some hairs that are going to be disagreeing with the way that it's sitting. So if you just line it up, you know, if he leaves here, he could, you know, touch his hair and then they start poking out these hairs that are too long for the lineup that you missed. So we're gonna go in with the one guard open and just go ahead and lay everything down, and now we will be ready to go in with some hairspray. Alright guys, now we've set ourselves up perfectly to head into this lineup. And what I do is I always make sure they're looking me almost dead in my eyes. I always tell them look down at my apron or close their eyes, but I want to be straight on so that I can give them the best shape possible. You can tell sometimes in these YouTube videos it's a little hard for me to get it perfect on the first run, so I do give myself a rough draft on this lineup, and then I just get out in front of the camera and show you guys how I really approach a lineup. So like I was saying guys, this is how I naturally do it inside the shop. It's just hard to show you guys the perfect angle with my face and my hair just covering up his whole hairline, but that's how I naturally do it. So now let's go ahead and go in with the sponge, and now we will see how his shape will actually be. Obviously this haircut's not over. Like I said, if you guys would love to see this whole tutorial, I would love to provide it for you. Just leave me some comments below letting me know that. But now we can go in and start tapering the sides. I'm pretty much gonna keep a 2 on the sides, but we were going to do a burst taper on the front, and we're going to do a pretty high taper in the back to match. And now that I've sponged, I can see which hairs are going to sit over his hairline, you know, curling up with his naturally curly hair. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving me a like, comment, hitting that subscribe button. It's CutsbyCoast, and I'm out of here.